right, hello, hello, hello. It appears you can hear me. Still have not gotten all the settings back again. You know how fun and exciting that is. Oh, yeah. Nero, you missed out yesterday. It was lots of fun. Yeah. All the settings got changed, erased. I was like, oh my God. And then YouTube hijacked the channel and it was like, oh, let us know what your live update is. I'm like, no, no, no. Send it through here. So yeah, a lot of fun. Let me tell you how exciting that was. Um, we got it all in. We got it all in. But yeah. All right, so still coughing a little bit. Again, I'm told it's going to take some time to go away. And actually, Kip and Jen are both coughing now, so I'm like, oh great, is it the tag? You're it. I know, right? I mean, occasionally I cough and I'm like, oh my god, I feel it's like a chiropractor, right? You hear all that, you're like the thought goes to your head is like, am I dead? Right? And then you're like, oh my god, wow, I feel much looser. So like I cough, and all of a sudden it's like it gets like real productive. It's like, holy crap, my lungs are clear now, right? So yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah. The idea is, if everybody gets sick this week, we should be good for next week, right? That's what we're looking at right now. That's how we live our lives right now, right? It's the you know what? Have everybody get sick now, and then we'll be good for Thanksgiving. So yeah. So news came this morning. Unemployment claims a little bit higher, but I don't think anything earth-shatteringly different. Manufacturing came in lower, but not nearly as bad as what they expected. So that's always good. Industrial production down a little bit. There was an adjustment before, and that may lead to it. Again, not a lot of difference in the 24-hour pip changes on this one. Um, there's some data again. No color next to it. I think this is an important thing to point out. Um, yeah, this comment is actually kind of dead on. It's funny. Yesterday, you heard Biden be like, "Yeah, we're back on the same page. We're all, we're buddies again." And then, China's like, "Yeah, we can only be adversaries or partners. There's no middle ground." And again, the, I forget what the name of the plan is or whatever it's called. Like I said, I've coughed so much, my brain is definitely hurting. The one China, the China in the lead, whatever the heck it is, China wins, right? China steals more proprietary secrets, that kind of thing. Whatever that plan is, right? Um, yeah, I mean, it's funny. We will bash them left and right, right? Right? We can be partners until the US tells China like, "Well, don't buy cheap Russian gas." We're going to be buddies until you stop doing that. China's going to be like, "No, I don't think so." No. Sorry. So, yeah, it's and we can be friends until you take over Taiwan, right? So, I mean, you see where all this is going. So it's kind of funny when they make statements like that. You're like, "All right, so the trip meant nothing." Um, Sounds like not a whole lot got done. Anyway, so today should be more or less slow. Tomorrow, retail sales coming for the pound expected to be positive. That should give some strength back into the pound. We talked about that yesterday. Building permits U.S. not going to be a real big deal. I don't see that being anything too crazy. And then ECB president speaking super early in the morning. So not a whole lot of explosions in the next. Maybe explosions is the wrong word. Not a lot of economic, you know, events to derail. Um, you know, to derail kind of where things should be. Or just after the week we've had so far, it probably ends. Again, it's going into a holiday week. It's always a weird. The Friday before Thanksgiving is always weird. You have people. It's not like the day before Thanksgiving, but you have people going out. I mean, all my kids are off next week. Both public school and private school kids are off. So it's kind of one of those things as far as, if you're looking to get a cheap vacation, not a cheap vacation, but like get the extra days in there, take Monday, Tuesday off, travel on Friday, get out of there early, right? It's a popular week for that. So we'll see. Again, I don't expect any major earth shattering changes or comments or things like that. There could be some headlines out there. You never know. Um, you know, we have for all intents and purposes we have two active wars going on right now. So yeah, to say that there's nothing out there, there's plenty out there that could happen, change. I saw today on my my Yahoo news feed, right? That in quotes Biden has told Israel that occupying Gaza. What was the word for it? I forget what it is now, but basically like it's don't do it. It's not a good idea. In quotes. Like I don't know what that means. So Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so that's where we are right now. So again, no major, again, pound yen, biggest one on the board. Percentage wise, dollar cat. Actually, dollar cat's the biggest one on the board now. Percentage wise, it's also the biggest. The euro pound is eh, about 60, 70% of a daily ATR in the last 24 hours. So that's decent movement. And I'm actually surprised it's actually green. So I think the European, again, we're seeing a little euro strength. I think that one probably turns and rolls pretty quickly. The dollar, really no movement since yesterday. Let's take this back up to 30. You can see more or less flat, right? We had the 104 stepping in and then the pop back and forth yesterday morning, and then same thing. This morning we popped down and then we kind of popped back up. We're still basically within the same range. No major movement in there. The VIX down, right? The VIX is down, although it's green, it's creeping up. And it's odd because you see everything is red right now, right? Dollar is red, but all the indices are red as well. But just barely. Again, ES is point what, 0.09 down. YM is 0.06 down. So not really a whole lot. NQ down zero point 0.3. Not that much. Russell, same thing, zero point 0.6. No major kind of things in there. But when we talk about things being down, look at this. Gotta love crude below $75. I posted that picture yesterday, 299. Ernest had to one up me and be like, it's 277 here. I'm like, yeah, but you live in Texas, right? If your gas was more expensive than mine, I'd be pissed if I were you, right? They gotta refine it and ship it all the way over here, right? What do you do? Yeah. It better be cheaper there. But yeah, it's an acorn. Yeah, it better be cheap over in Texas. That's all I gotta say, right? Um, but down 2.8%, below 75. Love that, right? Natural gas also down. And when I say down, it's down zero point 0.8, but yesterday morning it was at 317. We're only at 316. So not a lot of difference. And I think that does continue to deteriorate a little bit more. Gold, excuse me. I'm actually surprised gold and silver both up. Silver now playing with that 24 number. I think it needs to be closer down to the 22, not 24. And again, some of this may be some Chinese data. But again, it's kind of, again, the dollar. Let's go to the dollar just so it's easy to hear. Has there really been strength or weakness from where we were yesterday? Right here's where we were yesterday, right here. Nope, not really. It's basically the same. We're in the same kind of 20-cent window, but yet magically we have this, up one, up two. Come on. Not a whole lot you got to worry about there. So, I don't know. Maybe they're loading up for a big week next week. Who knows? But overall, is there anything today? Any of the news? I mean, look at this. I mean, is any of the news this morning? Does any of this justify gold and silver going to the moon? No, not really. Right? Manufacturing is down, but not nearly as bad. Manufacturing yesterday was up big and 10,000 jobs difference. Right? Not a whole lot there. And then again, industrial production down, but there was an adjustment. Last time it was supposed to be really, really high. So yeah, it's worse because it started worse. Right? So not that much different. Right? So yeah. So dollar not much different, but gold and silver think that it's like, whew, they think it's a party time. Look at the Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, I mentioned yesterday, we're looking for a break below 64.75. We never really got it. The base came down, and we typically want it to base in that level, and it didn't. It kind of came down and based and then came back up again, and it's like, what are we going to do? And it kind of went up a little bit higher and then kind of went back down in there again. It's like, yeah, we're looking for a clean base, and we have so much room here. And this base, the decent amount, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. I feel like we're going to have to slide it down to here. Right? We're going to have to change it to the new base level. And again, this was a decent one. 1, 2, and 3 is what broke and then went through. But if you look to see where all the basing is, and now with a top and a top, it looks like it has to be cycled down. So there was never an entry on this trade from yesterday. You should not have gotten into it. There was there was a breakthrough, but there was never a pause. Ideally, we're looking for that pause, particularly when it's been supported in the past twice. And again, this level is being supported, but there's so much room here to run on the racetrack. You got to cycle it down. So, you can set your alert. You can set an alert and be like, hey, listen, let me know when it goes through. I'd like to see what it looks like. Is it basing? What is it doing? Right? It's probably the best way to handle it. Again, I wouldn't just put this as a set and forget. It's not that quality of a basing level, but it did go through. It did base there again, and it did, again, it confirmed twice to the top side. So it's got all the same parameters as yesterday. There's just not much else there. And again, all we're doing is trying to recapture this. But overall, I don't think we've really had a really strong kind of dollar resurgence. Again, a lot of countries in the rest of the world, they are being hurt by the interest rate piece more than we are. Ours is higher than a lot of places, but we also have retail sales, going doing much better than expected. Other countries are already seeing slowdowns, both in manufacturing as well as retail sales, and we'll get the UK numbers for tomorrow, and see if again theirs is doing the same thing ours is doing. So, you know, overall, we do this country does because of the GDP size. We have some more resilience. I don't think we've actually seen it. Is Australia in a great place? Not really, right? Compared to us, economically. Um, our economy is definitely a lot more resilient. So we should see this turn and roll. Just looking for that entry. And again, this is a small one, 12 for 36. Nothing too crazy. Also again, starting to deteriorate. Yesterday we talked about coming through this level, and we wanted to see a base, and you can see it base below. It's like okay, it's getting ready, right? There's your push. There's two. There's three. We're coming through. We came back up again. We pushed, and then we're starting to see the hiccup. So it looks like it's trying to form a base, and there may be two different trades in here. There may be the opportunity to take it short from that level, or it may be forming. And again, this is a little premature, but it may be a this may be where we kind of look for a base in here to pull up, right? If we kind of come through and base back and forth and a pull up, I think either of those two decent sells. But that's what we're looking for. And again, has the same big rally. We're looking for this to pull back to 96.75. Okay. Euro dollar, not really much difference. You can see yesterday we said, okay, if we can get through 108.23, great. Well, it hit it. Now I'll move this over to here, right? It hit it, came through, kind of ground in there again, came up and hit it again. So it's eating up all the buyers, which is awesome for us. And again, is there really much trajectory difference from yesterday? Nah, not really. We're still inside of the same channel from the top to bottom, and we just hit it, and we're kind of pushing back again. And we'll see if this is the red for the green for the next red. It should push the next push down. So this may be something that triggers at noon today. Okay. Um, yeah, but again, I think 108.25. If you're setting an alert, I think there's a decent alert to be put in there. You could set something along those lines, and there you go. Right, there you go. Um, yeah. So you're a pound. Okay. We talked about this being a level, and again, it was already pushed to the top. So again, we knew to use some caution in there. It ended up hitting it one more time, and it's like, yeah, hitting it and basing, and they're like, it's breaking. It's going to break, and it did. It broke up and came back down, grabbed those same buyers, and kind of pushed up. And it's still using it. It's still kind of that same level. I think overall, right now, we kind of need this to stay high. I'm kind of hoping that we have buyers that step in somewhere in here to kind of push this up a little bit. I think with the retail sales data tomorrow morning, the forecast is that it's going to be zero point 0.3. So they're already expecting good. The US data was, again, really good. My only concern about this one, and again, they did it on the interest rate. Thank you, bud. Thank you. They did it on the interest on the CPI. I thought a drop of 2% was a little bit much. I thought it was just a little bit far. Um, but they did it. What? You got more? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Here, you take this. Can you take this for me? Here, take this, and you take this. There you go. Bounce the rock. Yay! Um, so they did the 2%. I didn't think they'd be able to do it. They went past it. Again, they did a good job there. This is a little bit big. Again, going from a minus zero point 0.9 to a positive zero point 0.3. Kind of a big difference in a swing there. But if they can come in at a zero point 0.4, zero point 0.5, something like that, again, that should drive this all the way back down again. So I kind of want this to kind of take a bounce and maintain high here. I don't have a good zone for it yet. Unfortunately, this candle right here is a little bit too big for me. I'd like, and again, it did come up. I mean, I guess I could shrink it. I mean, really, that's more what it looks like. Pull this back, and you could put a limit there and be like, oh, look, there's a confirmation. So, ideally, and it's got 8 pips to move. Can it move 8 pips in what? 15 hours, whatever it is? Yeah, absolutely. It's only 8 pips though. So we kind of need to push down a little bit more, find some buyers, and push back up again. But knowing where that news is, and again, our retail sales look amazing. Obviously, different countries, but ours looked amazing. This could be the opportunity to take this one short, right? But right now, is there anything else we're looking for? Not really. We're back up to a 36 daily pip ATR, which is great. At least it's more than 1 pip a day, 1 pip an hour. But it's still not, you're still not looking at this one and be like, oh man, I'm going to make a ton of money in this one, right? Again, a ton of money is relative, but I guess I should say a ton of pips on this one because this is just not this is not one of the big pipper runs, right? So yeah, not going to make that big of a difference. Euro yen. All right, so euro yen went a little bit higher. Still looking for that red, green, red. We did get a little bit of a red, green, red. I'm not really here because the green went above. So unfortunately, even though this took a big drop, there's your red. The green went above. It kind of invalidated it. You could say there's a red, green, red right in here. And again, we knew this was going to be interesting. European news shot it down. Again, now it's the 23. It wasn't before, and we've kind of pushed up. So overall, I will say I actually do like the top formation here. So I'm actually more excited about this one. And you could put it here if you really wanted to, so that way it includes all the bodies as well. Only 13 pips, so not bad. It's got a 105 ATR, so 13 pips is again under that 25% rate. Um, it's not bad, right? Not a bad spot. So I don't think this is horrible. I'm pretty okay with this one. I do think we need to watch out for this level right here. But if we start to find buyers in there and push up, I do think that could be a potential area where we take a short. Obviously, you can see there's no kind of main headline news in the next kind of little bit here. But again, we know that we are very, very high. You know, BOJ, they like to put their, you know, when things get to kind of extreme levels like this, and I would call this an extreme level because it's really high from what we've seen. Um, Eventually the BOJ is going to get tired of it and just be like, okay, no, right, and put their foot down. So we are high again with the euro pound. If the euro pound also starts to drop to the downside, this one should continue as well. So there's a couple things in play here. Hmm. That would have to take a 50 pip runner down to find that level. Statement on the news. Final is not as important. Maybe the 330 mark. 50. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. What time is that? 3:30. 3:30. 105. So news wise, I think really use either one of these. The only reason I put this in there is it's a decent formation. It's got a green, red, green. It's got a backstop of a 23-6 snare. There was a nice little pop off of it. So it is an area where there are buyers. So I think either of those two, selling, buying, again, they're about 15 pips worth of risk on either side. So not horrible. Not bad. Pound dollar. All right. So pound dollar continue to deteriorate. Hasn't pushed all the way back down again. You can see it has a base in there that's pretty decent. It doesn't coincide with the 23 or the 50. So again, it's just continuing to grind. This morning's news did pop it back up again. We do obviously have two news releases. Obviously, the retail sales on a monthly basis, and again, building permits not necessarily the biggest deal. But I think figure out where we are tomorrow morning will matter. I think again, decent spot. Um, I would assume probably the pound data is going to be bigger. Um, Not bigger, but like be more influential. Um, yeah, probably more influential of the two. Again, building permits is just not that big of a deal. Um, it's all right. I'm gonna take a pause. Just a Right now, this is kind of where I'm kind of playing with this one from here to here. We're kind of sitting right in the middle. Um, really like this one here, right? I mean, nice pop out of it. 5 pips. think the noise canceling's working. He's singing next to me. If you can't hear him sing, I'm assuming you guys can. I don't know. He was just singing, and I looked up, and it showed that there was no sound. So I feel like the noise canceling may be working. But he's singing next to me. He's like boop bah, boop bah. Yeah, I think the noise canceling. I don't know. If you can't hear him, the noise canceling is working well. And video broadcast for the win. Um, so yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this zone right here. I don't think this is really the best zone. There's a small one right here, but again, coming up is a decent reversal in there, but I don't think it really changes the trajectory too much. I'd like to see how far we can deteriorate down. I do think that the pound does have the opportunity tomorrow for a move, but right now, excuse me, not really at an extreme level. At 62 pips over to here. If we could grind up 62 pips, it actually could be a weak move, right? I don't know what we're gonna do now. I mean, but if we do head up to here, right? If we do head up to here, I think it's a decent short, right? 62 pips. It's got a 36 pip 4 hour ATR, so it's not the worst of areas, right? Not the worst of areas. Yeah, I can see that turning and flipping. See it turning and flipping. Pound, yeah, pounds continue to deteriorate. I can almost re-answer it again, but we're no different. We were sitting right down here yesterday morning. We said we had just gotten out of the position. We're exactly what's the difference now? 30 pips. Yeah, so barely anything, right? We went all the way back up, came all the way back down, and we're still playing with it. Again, this is. I think we still continue to push down. I think it's important to know where this area is right here. Obviously, we've mentioned this a few times. Your profit target should probably come in right there, right there, right. Put it where the wick is behind, just to be because again, this is a big push. Overall, I think this has more room to run. We got about 70 pips to go down. Again, playing in this area, you're talking about an extreme level here and talking about buyers there. We're sitting right at the 50% mark, so it has the ability to grind down today. But as far as a news setup for me, not really, or any type of trade. I just don't see much in here that I'm like, yep, love that one. That one's good. I don't think it's not the trade we're looking for right now. I think there's better opportunities out there. Um, Again, nothing over here buyers wise, so it should continue to deteriorate, push back to the downside. I love with that one. Dollar CAD cycling back up again. You can see we had a little front running action off of there. We talked about this one yesterday. We left it on to see if we'd pull back up to it, and we didn't. We pulled it. We ended up going here, the base below it, here, and then punch through it. So we can remove it. It doesn't do us any justice right now. I think the top is still decent. Again, overall, this is the extreme, and it's kind of the same scenario. You can see it here. Whether we go top to bottom, and again, we can remove this because it went to the 78 and just cycle the other direction, and it's still the same thing. We're at a 50% mark. So we're literally smack dead in the middle of no man's land in a racetrack to the top side. There's a little bit of wicks right around the 50, but nothing at the 61. Has the ability to run all the way back up again. Take profit if you are long right there. Again, is building permits going to move this tomorrow? Honestly, historically, no. They have it as an important thing, and I don't know, maybe going to the future, it matters. I don't know. I don't know. It's expected to be slightly lower. Is that going to be earth-shatteringly different? I feel like no. Um, it's just not one of those releases that really has much. I mean, talking about influence from the stock market, building permits is not, it's not typically the driver, right? Retail sales, we're not talking about the new buildings for the most part, right? We're talking about, spending money on everyday things, right? Stuff we use on a regular purpose. It's not typically building permit ish type stuff. All right. So ideally, we push back up. I don't know. I mean, I said it yesterday. I think this one rallies back up again. I think it's a little bit too low. I think we got beat up a little bit too much for what it really is. I think we push back up probably up into. Yeah, it's fine. It's all right. It's all right. Fine. Um, dollar Swiss. The dollar Swiss, we are waiting for a break again. We knew we had this in there yesterday. We were looking for this to punch through, and we don't have it yet. It came up and touched it again, though. Well, I didn't touch it, but it got really, really close. We talked about the push down yesterday, and it was out yesterday at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was very fast, and then it pushed lower again. I did come back up, and obviously the front run side of it. So I like this now. I like it even more looking for that push through. Right. I don't know when it's going to break through, but trying to come through this level here, right? It's got a bit of a racetrack with a little pop. So, plenty of room. Again, is building permits going to do it? Not really. Is there much difference from one day to the next? Minus 22, barely, right? It's minus 22 to here, but in the next, this big red candle that brings it right to where we are right now is the 1030 candle. So that minus 22 is going to disappear very, very quickly, right? Yeah. If the price doesn't move by the end, about 11 o'clock, it's going to be zero. So not really a lot of movement. Again, that's a dollar Swiss. But again, the fact that we came up and grabbed this one, I think this is a great one. We talk about setting alerts and being able to come back to it. I think this is a great one to get alerted when it does finally break through this one. Right. If you're not paying attention or you're doing other things, and again, next week obviously is crazy for a lot of people. When we do break through, and again, it's going to be more of again, looking for kind of a more of a breakthrough, pull back and go. Right. Looking for something along those lines. Right. Um, Oops. Wow, can't see anything with that. It's gonna have to be dots. Yeah, something along those lines. I don't know when it's gonna come through, right? I mean, my belief is it deserves to happen before the weekend, but it may take it in next week. You never know, right? So again, set the alert, right? Set the alert right here. Um, Figure it out, right? We got buyers down here. I don't know. Maybe we can drive even lower. I don't know, but I don't think again building permits is not going to change this one too much. It's basically moving sideways. In 30 minutes, this is going to dissipate and go to zero, right? Because we know that the bottom of this red candle right here, which is what the bottom of the red candle there is 4.3 pips from where we are right now. So that's getting ready to disappear very, very quickly. It looks super flat, which it is. We're still in the same channel. We can continue to grind lower, but I think if anything, this is more artificial. Again, we just haven't seen the rally back in the dollar. It's funny, everybody's like willing to just dump the dollar. Like, nope, dollar bad, dollar bad, dollar bad. It's like, what? No, you play with it. Go in the other room. That one's very, very loud. Here, daddy, do it. Here, move, daddy, do it for you. The Batman robot from when the boys were kids. It still makes a lot of noise. It's missing like all the pieces, but it makes a lot of noise and he loves it. He like brings it to bed now, and it's as big as he is. That's why it's funny. Dollar yen. All right, so dollar yen. It didn't make it back up. We were looking for it to make it back up. We were sitting here yesterday. It loaded back up again. Gave us a little bit of a base in there. And again, we talked about red, green, red. Red, green one above, invalidated. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Red, green, red. Again, putting in a basing level right there. Right. That's what it came back up into, and then kind of used it again, and that became the dropping point. So, probably on its way to 150. We're only 50 pips off of it right now. If the trend today is going to be dollar weakness, that the dollar's bad. Then you see in the green yet? Yeah, they're trying. ES is in the green a little bit. NQ is about to roll in the green, and YM is about to roll in the green as well. So again, right now the trend is dollar's bad. No, dump the dollar. You don't want it. It's interesting. There's all this dollar weakness coming in, but who's going to cut interest rates first? The U.S. or some of these other countries that have put themselves into a recession, right? So the dollar is going to get strength by everybody else weakening themselves first. It's kind of crazy how it's working out, but it is what it is. 150 again will act as a bit of a magnet, right? It's only got 50 pips, and if the trend today is going to be, if we make it through this 10 to 10:30 time frame without reversing the dollar, which I don't think the dollar really needs to be weak today, but if that's what the market feels like, no problems get off 50. Now 150 could be the turning point. If today we're going to blow the dollar up, tomorrow would be a bit of a reversal, bringing it back again because nothing has really changed. Um, so yeah. Look for potential reversals. Look for instead of a red, green, red, look for a green, red, green on this bottom section. It's there. Again, it's a big number. 150 is a huge number. We know how important it is. Again, it's like 2,000 in gold, right? One of those big ones. It'd be like $100 in oil, right? It's one of the mega numbers. So yeah, look for potential reversal. And what did I say? Yeah, 50 pips. It's got the ability to run that. It's a 4-hour ATR of 36. So again, it's not there yet. I can't draw it. I can't do like it's gonna go right here. I think somewhere in here it's probably gonna bounce. It just you need the confirmation first. We just don't have the confirmation yet. Looking at crude, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. Straight down, and it's kind of funny. What do they say? What the news is? It extends losses. Yeah. I mean, there was increased inventory yesterday, right? We were seeing a little bit of rally up as they were talking about demand, and then I was like, wait a second, we got too much supply, and then Russia was basically like, hey, we're not going to ban exports anymore. Let's put more supply on the market. And we're seeing it continue to deteriorate. Here's where the profit target was that we talked about yesterday. We came down, we tagged it right when the oil market closed, and it kind of used that same area, right? That same kind of Harry Potter chair where we dropped base, pulled back, and then today just the acceleration down. Now, is this move justified? This is kind of a big move. I mean, going from what, 76.50 all the way down to 73. I mean, that's $3 worth of movement in there, right? 293. It's kind of a big move, right? Kind of a big move. Um, is it a justifiable move? I mean, off of what, right? What data did we get today, right? That was really going to show us that, hey, listen, you know, manufacturing, I mean, yeah, 10,000 less people are working. That, again, that's lower demand on the supply, right? That will help drain it a little bit, but, you know, earth shattering? No, not really. Industrial production down? No, bad for the dollar, right? Bad for the dollar. Industrial production means we're not making as much stuff. Yeah, I guess that kind of hurts the dollar a little bit. Less people working, it means less supply, less demand on there. So maybe, manufacturing wasn't as bad. So you're getting a little bit over here. So rational move, I probably think 75.50 is probably more rational. But this sucker wants a dump right now. You can see it's really accelerating from 9 o'clock down. I don't know. Maybe there's some news. Maybe there's a headline that we missed. I don't know. Is there? But building conditions are in view. Yeah, profits at time of inflation. Yeah, no, not really. I don't see anything. Right? Industrial production, dollar. Nope. No. So I mean, UK may need to stay at higher for longer. Wonder where they got higher for longer from. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think there's really much justifying this bit of a move. It probably finds a bottom in here, and again, this just may be cycling through, coming off of the contract switch. Try to get it back down to what normal is. We're under, we're under 74. So, trying to look back to see the last time we were at 74. I mean, there's a zone right now. It looks like I think we've broken this one though, so I think we're through it. Um, Next big pop kind of happened over here. There's a couple. There's a little one here, right, as well as one right below it. So, I mean, there are two levels sitting right there, right? It looks like this one is trying to get through. We'll see if it can get through, if it can get fully through. It's having some problems and struggling with it. Um, 73.25, right? 73.25 maybe gives us a bottom today. Um, yeah, I don't know. This move is for the news. This move is a little bit farther than what you would normally see. So, it's all right. It's all right. If anything, I would say I feel more bullish about it. I hate to say that after posting the 299 yesterday, but yeah, I feel like it's probably going to turn and flip. Natural gas, again, playing a channel, came back up. Looks like Europeans sent this up right in time for the U.S. market to put it back down again. Inventory is today. I didn't even look to see. Let's see. Let's see if they get. That's weird. Here's the natural gas. Here's the forecast, but then they have the November 3rd forecast on there. Hmm, like that. Oh, there'll be two simultaneous releases as the source skipped the data released last week. The data pertains to the week ending November 3rd. Oh, okay. All right. All right. That's weird. I was like, you don't often see that, but now I understand. So the data skipped last week, but they're going to print last week's number, I guess. Okay. All right. So again, maybe we get some movement in this sucker. But again, we're still basically channeling sideways. Again, we were at 317 yesterday morning. We're at 316.9 right now. Overall, this is going to be dependent upon weather. Everybody in the last week has been talking about this is going to be a cold winter. There's going to be snow. There could be a blizzard. They keep saying that, and then I don't know. I feel like they're cursing us right now. The Farmer's Almanac has said like the last 2 years we're going to get a lot of snow, a lot of snow. Maryland, we got nothing last year. I think we got one dusting one day. That by like 10 o'clock there was nothing left on the ground. Like that was our dusting. I don't even think the kids got off from school. I think they were like, oh no, they did. They did. It was kind of like we haven't used a single school day, and this is probably the last one, so we'll give the kids off today. and parents were pissed because they were like, it's 10 o'clock and there's not even a speck of white anywhere. Why would you give them a snow day today? Um, but I think the school system was just looking for something, right? Getting a day off. So we'll see. We're kind of in the middle. Again, obviously sellers up top, buyers down below, kind of channeling back and forth. Now gold has taken off. I mean, looking at the dollar right now, is the dollar taking off? No, it's still within the same channel, the same kind of 20 cent mark, 30 cent mark. And it's coming into an area right now of 104 where we should have buyers, and we've seen buyers here in the past. Does that justify a monstrous gold move like this? Not really. Not really. So again, I'm not sure exactly what's causing this one. Again, I think this is a little bit overextended. Looking to the left to finding opportunities to sell. Unfortunately, this was a little grindy. There's a little area up here at the 78.6. Um, there's not like a clean, drop base drop in this one, so it's not. Ideally, you like a little bit something a little bit more clean, like this. I like this where there's three candles like that, and I like kind of how it touches. That's not the worst of levels, right? Um, Again, this is not like a dialed in. I'm just talking about candles with a touch. That's sitting a little bit higher than where we are right now. Again, getting close to 1030. Could we turn a reverse from 1985? Yeah. I mean, I think it's not a bad point to reverse. I just don't think that this is a justified move right now. I think people are getting into the market. Wouldn't be surprised if we turn. And again, in the last 24 hours, we're at the day's high right now. So I think it's probably due for a flip. And again, if you want a little bit more certainty on this one, wait for a red, green, red. Drop it down to a 15 if you really want. But look for this to turn and flip and roll back down. Silver doing what it should. If gold is up by 1.2, again, 2.3, 2.4 is where it should be. It is, and you can see right now it touched the next big magical number up top. And what did it do? It hit it, pulled back, hit it, pulled back, hit it, pulled back. And it's kind of stuck there. So, we knew we had two little zones, and again, base, tuck, and a continued push. I feel the same way. I feel like what's justifying this move? Now, some of it could be China, and you can see down here 3 hours ago, silver hits a 3-week high or a 7-week high, right? And that was 3 hours ago. This candle, that was where that article was written here. So now we've surged even higher, right? So I don't think it's justified. Actually, let's see. Are they going to say anything in here? Let's see. No, just a nope, just a high, just a high. So no context behind it at all. I think we look for a sell. Again, we don't have the candles to justify it right now. 24 will act as a bit of a sticking point, obviously. I think turn and look for this one to drop down. Let's look to see what we got in indices. VIX. VIX was like pop up. Nope. Straight down again. Again, dollar really approaching those bars quick. Let's see what we got here. Besides a lot of chop. Wow. Look at that. How ugly is that? Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. What'd you do? Did you mess it up again? No. Oh, you want to put it right here? You want to sit on my lap? Almost done. Come here. There we go. There we go, big guy. Oh, you got a pee tight. So here's where with ES. I mean, again, we talked about areas yesterday, and it really has the trajectory changed much? No, not really. Right. As far as opening print goes, let's see what we got. Your 915 is there, 930 is there. You could have argued this was late last night, and then there was a touch of it this morning, right? But it's like a 715 touch, so you could have tried to trade it off there. The problem with this one is we did have a turn here, so you got to say, hey, do we have room to run? And if you look to the left, you got to look at this and say, okay. If anything, looking at this morning, yeah, you could have said, hey, there's a buy signal here, but again, sellers here, and it's in an area here, kind of confirmed selling, and we're kind of stuck sideways. Like it hasn't gotten out of its channel, so it would have been a dangerous long. Will it end up green today? Honestly, with the data today, I don't think there's any reason for it to be negative. Not that much. I mean, it's obviously 10,000 more first claims, but grand scheme of things, it's really not that much. Overall, I don't. Again, being a green day today, I don't think is out of the ordinary. So you may have wanted to take that. There was kind of an overnight. There was a confirmation. It was all right. It not it is what it is. I think it was very pinched, and I think if anything, it showed that it was going to be more of a sideways day today. NQ did basically the same exact thing. Came down. It actually grabbed it at 930. So grabbed the zone down here, right? 930 and took off, and then it kind of used that kind of Harry Potter level we talked about yesterday, and it's turning back down again. Overall, I don't think I'm really excited about this one until we break through. Right. I mean, we're sitting. I guess yesterday, where were we? We were sitting like here yesterday. So yeah, we punched through. And we talked about finding a base, and again, based on the top side of it. So, to me, this one does look like it's lining up more for a short. Again, if we turn back, it's the same sellers. There's the same sellers here that we saw in ES. It just found them here. It didn't quite on the other one. So yeah, I think if we can get below, as far as opening print goes, could you have taken something off of that one? Sure, it was a small trade. It looks like a 1 to 3 would have worked out fine if you had taken it. It's okay. Here, I'll draw it on. I guess I'll put it here instead of just guesstimating. Um, 1 to 304. So you can see it was out. 15-minute trade. Um, Actually, I took more risk in this one. It's on the other side, so it's all right. YM, yeah, a lot of chop back and forth. Came down, grabbed the level. This one didn't really have a great level though. Um, Here is the overnight, and it actually broke through it, so it did not really have a level to take a long off of. So you would not have traded this one. We talked about 35.035 yesterday, and again yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon, it kind of came up and it peaked right around that 2 o'clock window and pushed down, and we're more or less in the same area. Unfortunately, with this one, I mean, this entire area here, all junk, right? You got all the basing in here, you got the basing down here, so there's a lot of junk that this one needs to slice through. Um, Kind of wouldn't be surprised if this is like kind of the new channel that we're following right now, right? If that's the channel we're playing in, it's not that surprising. So it's all right. Not a big fan of this one. I think there's better opportunities in ES and NQ right now than this. And let's see Russell. Russell weakest. And again, we talked about 1800 yesterday. Well, what did it do? Right. It came up and actually grabbed the base on the top side to punch through. But you can see it's got some room to run to the downside. And we said it yesterday. Whenever they turn negative, Russell should turn negative the fastest. And it is. Russell's turning negative the fastest. And it's accelerating the most down. As far as opening print goes, the 915 you're sitting in here, you're kind of in the middle of the zone. And at that point, we were looking for a break of the zone. So, was there a trade set up in there? Not really. I don't think that the red, the red candle is, I don't know. On a technical basis, fundamentally, is there any reason why it be red? Not really. I mean, fundamentally, it's 10,000 jobs with different. I don't think that's the end of the world. But on a technical basis, purely technical, avoiding all the news this morning, we had a base here and we knew it was a top and a top and it was a bottom, 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 bottom base in there, bottom deep again. And when it pulled back up again, it's like the next time it should punch through, right? Again, the power of an 1800. And it did, right? All these punches in 1, 2, 3, 4, right down. So it's on a technical basis, it's doing exactly what it should be doing. On fundamentals, is this justified? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, it's only 10,000 jobs different. It's not the end of the world, right? Trying to see if Waller speaks in a little bit. I was trying to see. I was like, do we have any comments from Waller yet? What's Waller speaking yet? Digital money revolution, central bank digital currency versus stable coins. Hmm. It's weird, right? The Conference of the Economics of Central Bank Digital Currency by the Bank of Canada and Sveriges. I can't even say it. Riksbank in Stockholm, right? So yeah, if you can say that word, bonus points for you today. And we'll see what Waller has to say. Right? All right. So again, nothing crazy today. Again, Russell's obviously has the most. We talked yesterday about a reversal coming, and if it did, Russell will be the affected by it the most, and it's affected the most by it today. Everything else is more or less flat, kind of trying to be an inside day with some basing sideways. Big things, I think. Again, dollar coming at this 104 amount. There's a lot over here. There was a gap off of it. We've touched it in spot. If the dollar is going to reverse, it's going to happen probably in the next hour to 2 hours. That will take a lot of these things that we're seeing some traction here and reversing back again. I think the dollar, this one right here, stands the dollar CAD stands to move the most. Again, this one should turn not red, but this will go back down lower. This will go back lower. This one will get closer to zero, right? Instead of this. This one, again, dollar strength comes in. This goes back to zero as well. And this one right here, again, dollar starts to strengthen. This one, and you can see the last hour it's been green. This one should also take these back. Take this one back red. So this should get a little bit more negative, but it's going to fight an uphill battle. So Yeah, there's got a lot of stuff out there. Again, not really a whole lot going on as far as the news front goes. So, you know, just kind of a reset based day for the most part. All right, we're a little bit early today, but let's go ahead and do the drawing. Kip is sitting in a big diaper, so I want to get him out of this as soon as I can. And I will let you. I will go to 2:30 because that seems to be the magic number we'll run to. Ugh. I need music. He's giving me his toenail to cut because he's distracted, but I feel like the second I grab the clippers, he's gonna get me again. Yeah, I was actually wondering. Ernest responded to Discord, but I was wondering if we'd see him today. Obviously, you guys know Ernest does a million turkeys for people at Thanksgiving, and obviously he's doing a lot of cooking now. So I was kind of like, I wonder if we're gonna see him this week. You know, this is like a, I don't want to say Hell Week because that's the wrong thing because he's, he does a lot of stuff and gives a lot of food away to families and stuff like that. So it's kind of one of those weird weeks, right? Where it's like, hey man, this is his crazy week, the week before Thanksgiving. I think I think it was like a year ago or a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys know this. So like Ernest was helping with like a catering event, and I think he said they did like 40 turkeys or something like that. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was like, man, that's a lot of turkeys. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, this is like his big thing. Nero, he cooks and gives them to people and stuff. But yeah, I think the catering event, like I said, I think the catering event he did, or like he was doing them for the church or something like that. Like he volunteered to help do like the church's Thanksgiving. He did like 40 turkeys. I was like, man, that's smoking a lot of turkeys. Like, I was like, it's a lot of death, but that's a lot of turkeys. So yeah, yeah. So he's crazy. So if you guys see Ernest, tell him hi. So anyway, let's do the drawing today. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro takes it today. Look at that, Debbie. Debbie was tempted. Debbie was really, really tempted. She's like, I won yesterday. Let me put an extra one in. And then she's like, maybe I'll put two extra ones in. Because yesterday was 50. She justified it. And then Neuro comes in and slams it. And he takes it from you. Neuro takes it. There we go. Let's see. Neuro, he gets his 50. And again, we'll be back on tomorrow. And tomorrow will be the last day of our 5 days of 50 pip chips. Right? And we'll see how we go from there. But Debbie got a little space on you yesterday, Neuro. And then you came back today. But she got it with one yesterday. So she's still positive on the week. All right, with that, oh, here you go. A $1 billion counterfeit operation in Manhattan storage facility. Love it. Love it. Oh no, it's not actually $1 billion. It's $1 billion worth of fake clothes, bags, shoes, and luxury items. There we go. So lovely. All right. Happy trading all. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you then. Take care.